All right, let's just dive right in. Over the next few minutes, we are going to break down the one concept in American football that honestly unlocks the whole game. Once you get this, you'll be able to follow along with total confidence. So let's kick things off with a question I know you've heard before. You've definitely heard the announcers say it, right? Suddenly the crowd gets super loud and you can just feel the energy shift. You know something big is about to happen. But what does it really mean? Well, stick with me and you'll know exactly why that moment is so important. Okay, so before we even get into any rules, let's start with the absolute basics. What's the point of it all? What is a team actually trying to do on any given play? It really all comes down to this one simple thing. It's a fight for territory. You're trying to move that football all the way down the field and get it into your opponent's end zone. That's it. That's the ultimate goal. So how do they do that? This brings us to the engine of the game, the one idea that makes everything else just click into place. It's all about having a set number of chances to get something done. So you hear this word all the time, a down. But really, a down is just a fancy word for an attempt or a try. When a player gets tackled, the play is over, the ball is considered down, and one of your attempts is used up. Simple as that. And this is the magic number. 4. The offense gets exactly 4 tries, 4 downs, to accomplish a very specific goal. Not 3, not 5, just 4. Everything, and I mean everything, revolves around this number. And this is the goal. This is the central rule of football right here. The offense has 4 chances to move the ball forward at least 10 yards. Every single thing you see happen out there on the field is driven by this one simple challenge. And let me tell you, the stakes could not be higher. If the offense succeeds and gets those 10 yards, they get a huge reward. But if they fail after those 4 attempts, they have to give the ball to the other team, right where they stand. The pressure is always on. So, what is that huge reward for succeeding? This is where you hear the announcers get all excited and shout, "First down!" You know, I absolutely love this analogy because it's so true. Getting a first down is exactly like earning extra lives. It doesn't just let you keep moving forward. It completely resets your tries. You're back to full strength. So here's how that whole cycle works. You start out at 1st and 10. If you manage to gain those 10 yards, you don't go to 2nd down or anything like that. No, you've earned a brand new set of downs. The whole thing starts over, a new 1st and 10, just further down the field. The big idea is to keep chaining these first downs together, all the way to the end zone. But of course, it's not always that easy, right? What happens when the defense plays really well and you don't get those 10 yards on your 1st or 2nd try? Well, this is where the real drama of football kicks in. So let's walk through a typical series. On 1st down, maybe you gain 3 yards. Okay, so now it's 2nd and 7. On the next play, you fight hard and get another 4 yards. Now you're facing 3rd and 3. See how your attempts are running out? This is crunch time. The pressure is on and a huge decision is coming up. And if you don't make it on 3rd down, you end up here. 4th down. It's your last chance, but it's not just a normal play. Why? Because if you try and fail, the other team takes over right there on that spot, which could be a disaster. So the coach has to make a really tough strategic choice. And there are basically 3 big options on the table. First, the riskiest is to go for it. You're all in. You only really do this if you need a yard or 2. The most common choice is to play it safe and punt, which is just kicking the ball as far downfield as you can to make it tougher for the other team. And finally, if you're close enough, you can try for a field goal and get yourself 3 points. So let's pull all this together. You now have the key, the mental model to understand the flow of any football game. You're not just watching a bunch of random plays anymore. You're actually seeing this strategy unfold with every single snap. So remember, it all boils down to this simple loop. The goal is to get to the end zone. The challenge is to gain 10 yards, and you have a set number of attempts to do it, 4 tries. And when you succeed, that whole cycle just resets and you start all over again. That's really the game in a nutshell. So next time you're watching a game and you see that little graphic pop up that says 3rd and 8, you'll know exactly what's at stake. You'll feel that tension and you'll understand the big choice that's coming. So the only question is, what play would you call?